Trump demands Fed board takeover, slams Powell after rate decision. President Trump erupted in fury at Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell on Friday morning, urging the central bank board to seize control from him after he once again decided not to lower interest rates this week. In a fiery post on Truth Social, Trump called Powell a stubborn moron and demanded that the board take over if Powell continued to refuse to lower rates. This outburst came after a vote by the Fed on Wednesday that kept short-term interest rates at a level of 4.25% to 4.5%, but included the first double dissent from Fed board officials in more than 30 years. Vice Chair of Supervision Michelle Bowman and Board Governor Christopher Waller, both of whom are in the running for Trump's nomination to replace Powell when his term is up in May, voted against maintaining the current interest rates. Trump's anger at the central bank's decision is nothing new, as he has been criticizing Powell for months over the Fed's decision to keep interest rates as is. However, this latest outburst comes at a time when the economy is showing signs of weakness, with the July jobs report showing the labor market stalling. The US added only 73,000 jobs in July, and the unemployment rate stayed flat at 4.2%, according to data released Friday by the Labor Department. The data also included staggering revisions for the months of May and June that showed about 250,000 fewer jobs were added to the non-farm sectors during those 2 months than initial data showed. Trump's criticisms of Powell and the Fed have been a source of controversy, with some arguing that the president is overstepping his bounds by trying to influence monetary policy. However, others have argued that the Fed's decision to keep interest rates as is hurting the economy, and that Trump's calls for lower rates are justified. What do you think? Should the Fed lower interest rates, or is Trump's interference in monetary policy a cause for concern? Trump blasts stubborn moron Powell. Economy in shambles. Imagine the President of the United States publicly blasting the Federal Reserve Chairman as a stubborn moron. That's exactly what happened on Friday, when Donald Trump lashed out at Jerome Powell for refusing to lower interest rates, even suggesting that the board should seize control over these rates. But here's where it gets controversial. Just hours after this fiery outburst, the White House was hit with devastating economic news. The U.S. economy only managed to add a mere 73,000 jobs in July, a far cry from the 100,000 jobs that Dow Jones had projected, as reported by CNBC. This stark discrepancy has raised eyebrows and reignited debates about the effectiveness of current economic policies. And this is the part most people miss. While Trump's frustration is palpable, the underlying issue of interest rate control is a complex one. Should the Federal Reserve maintain its independence, or should there be more direct government influence? What do you think? Do you agree with Trump's stance, or do you believe the Federal Reserve should stay autonomous? Share your thoughts in the comments. Note, if you decide to purchase a product or register for an account through any link on our site, we may receive compensation. By using this site, you are agreeing to our user agreement and acknowledging that your clicks, interactions, and personal information may be collected, recorded, and/or stored by us and our social media and other third-party partners in line with our privacy policy.